Okay. Lauren, you're the benefits manager at Blue Cross here in town, correct?
Yes.
Okay. First question, just real open ended. What do you think makes a good manager? I mean, really, just sort of roll with that one.
I think what really makes a good manager is someone who has really good coaching skills, someone who has clear vision, who has really good integrity, and is very open and honest with their team. I think it's very important to be motivational as a manager and really be able to communicate your ideas and your issues, and when problems arise, that you're even able to communicate everything that comes up.
Okay. I mean, just once again, kind of open ended question. What would you say your management style is? And this doesn't really have to be anything out of a textbook. Just just kind of roll with it. Just describe your management style.
I feel like my management style is probably very action oriented. I'm very much the person that is a go getter, and I kind of feel like I have that emphasis with my team. We are very motivated. We are very data driven. So we always have timelines, and I always try to tell them to get it in before the timeline. So we'll have a preliminary timeline, if you will, that we try to get all of the information done and submitted beforehand.
Okay. And what are the sort of ramifications if somebody isn't kind of working with that accelerated timeline? I mean, how do you manage somebody that's sort of falling a little bit behind the rest of the team in terms of deadlines?
Something like that, you really have to dive deeper and get to know the person and see where they're struggling. You want to take the bigger picture apart and see what the actual issue is. It may be something at home. It may be something that they haven't learned. It may just be something that they're struggling with. So you definitely want to dive deeper into that and see what the actual issue at hand is, how you can help resolve it. Maybe give them some coaching sessions to motivate them and see what can help drive them to further their success.
Okay. You run into any situations like that at Blue Cross?
Yes, we have run into quite a few situations where um, employees may not quite understand the ramifications of their actions or lack thereof, and it can come back. But most of the time, when it does come back, it comes back actually on the manager instead of the employee. So that's something we kind of have to take into whole consideration. And when you do have ramifications and consequences for your actions, we kind of just go over that, and there is a system for that. So we'll give a verbal warning. We'll try to make a chart to go over different action plans of ways to improve. We'll do a follow up every 30, 60, 90 days, and we'll make sure that there's improvement along the way.
As far as turnover at Blue Cross, is there quite a bit, or is it mostly? I mean, it's a big company. Is there a lot of sort of intra company transfer, sort of between divisions, or what would bring someone into your under your management umbrella at Blue Cross most of the time?
Sure. So at Blue Cross, our turnover rate is actually under 10%. For the most part, when employees get there, they find that there is a lot of growth potential, and that keeps them with the company up until the time of retirement for the most part. Once they retire, we look for someone internally to possibly fill that highest position, and if not, we look for someone externally to fill it at a lower level, and we build them up.
What does the company do to um, sort of support retention, employee retention? I mean, are we talking restricted stock units? Are we talking a 401k plan? What are the sort of the methods to that?
Sure. So there are quite a few methods or benefits, you can say, or perks for being an employee here at Blue Cross. We have internal things just for us. We also have an association umbrella with different discounts. We have an 8% employee 401k match where you're vested immediately. We have a very small fee that you would have to pay for any kind of health insurance premiums just because we are a health insurance company.
That
Um,
makes sense.
we also have a lot of different perks and wellness incentives where you can earn money just for being healthy, and even like getting steps in. We also make sure that you have a follow up meeting with your manager, a one on one, on a monthly basis, and you should be having a team meeting with your team weekly just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And I feel like communication is the most important factor to be retaining your employees.
Everybody get their steps in over the quarantine period.
I think so, but I feel like some people might just be waving that watch around collecting the steps.
Yeah, yeah,
At this
yeah.
point, there's really no way to monitor it, so, we'll see.
What do you like about your position, in particular, being a manager at Blue Cross?
I really like, I have 8 employees underneath me, and I really like the opportunity to grow them as individuals and motivate them and encourage them. They're all very individualistic, and just being able to take the time to get to know them and their learning styles, it really helps me grow as a manager, just being able to go through different situations and circumstances with them. It's definitely something that's been eye-opening, and I think it's a lot of growth opportunity, not only for them, but for me as well.
What do you look for? Anything in particular, in somebody who's going to be working under you?
I look for someone that's very data driven, but someone that's also open to different things and new concepts. I like someone that can bring fresh eyes to the table. So we have the people who have been here for a really long time that are very much, if it's not broken, don't fix it, but there's always process improvement. So I'm very much into that. If you can look at something and figure out a way to make it more efficient or effective, I'm definitely open to that, and that definitely brings new themes and different motivation around.
Is there any piece of advice you received, throughout your career, about management, being a manager, that you really took to heart? Any sort of lessons learned from maybe a colleague or a former manager, anything along those lines?
Probably that the smallest steps make the biggest difference. So you can't really look to make a difference overnight, but it's the little things that always add up, and it's the small intentions. So you can always make a big set on the game plan, but you always just want to keep in mind your day-to-day activities, because that's going to bring about your total success.
Okay. I was saying, you've been in your position at Blue Cross for about a year and a half, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you come from before that? I mean, how did you get, you're kind of at point A, sort of take me from point A being the beginning of your career, to point B.
Sure. So actually, I was in another HR role, and in the very beginning, I started with an HR internship. So I've kind of just built my career throughout HR, with this time being in different roles, and now I've become very specialized in benefits. So that's about the role where I'm at right now.
Okay. Where did you work? I mean, was it in a health insurance industry setting before when you were working, or where were you working? What industry? Anything along those lines?
Similar. I definitely think that Blue Cross is a lot more geared toward the healthcare industry, and I feel like, especially with everything going on right now, how we have responded and given the different resources to our employees, I think that's also another thing, kind of circles back around to the retention factor. Just being able to be there for our employees during this time. We have not furloughed any employees at all. We've given them excess money and funds for anything that they may need. We've also offered extended leave for them. There's just a ton of different resources and different organizations that we've grouped with, even throughout the state, not even just at Blue Cross, but externally as well, to just really make a difference in the community, and that's really what drives us. So being able to make a difference in the community and make a difference with our employees, it's a really big factor of what we do.
Okay. Last sort of open-ended question of the interview. I mean, how do you approach, a difficult management situation? And that, could look like one thing one day and another thing the next. Just sort of open-ended, kind of go with that, and give us your best advice for approaching a difficult management situation.
Sure. Probably the most difficult management situation that we face, everyone at my level, it would probably be with the executives. Things are constantly changing. What they need, what they want from a day-to-day basis is constantly changing. So they may want something at one point, and then it may change tomorrow. And it can be very frustrating, especially when you spent so much time on it, even with your employees. Our associates will spend months on something, and then all of a sudden it gets turned around at the very last minute. I think it's very important to be able to keep an open mind and be able to make changes, and just have that authenticity, to not hold it personally, that it's just a job, and at the end of the day you just have to get it done, and you do your part to make sure it gets done.
Okay. That's actually all we had for the interview today, but I appreciate your time, and good luck moving forward in your career.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.